From June 21st to July 2nd, 2018, I was in Stockholm, Sweden, and this time I actually talked to somebody from the place that I visited. A native named Julia, a friend that I know from the internet. And it was cool because, she's extremely jaded about Sweden and didn't have any time for my touristy bullshit. Also, she showed me some stuff that I probably wouldn't have found on TripAdvisor or whatever. It made me think, wow, wouldn't this have been a more interesting series if I did that in every place I visited? Actually interviewed somebody that knows what the fuck they're talking about. No offense to Kevin, of course. But whatever, fuck it. Da-da-da-da-da. Bad Travel Podcast. This is all going to end up on the cutting room floor.
Okay, good. I'm just making sure.
But
I don't want to give it my all if this is not going to...
I have started recording. Don't let it stress you out. But it's just so we can ease into it naturally. I see. By talking about normal stuff, like how your voice sounds. Mm-hmm. Why your voice sounds weird.
Is this vocal fry?
No, all you're doing is lightly squeezing your neck.
Yeah, what is this?
You have to affect your voice.
Just, before you leave Sweden, can you just teach me how to do vocal fry?
I've already taught you how to do
vocal
fry.
No, I can't do it. If you had taught me, I would be able to do it.
You know, it's kind of like this and just a little bit.
Honestly, what
here's why you're fucking up vocal fry.
I don't think what you're doing is vocal fry.
It is. Trust me.
None of the girls I've listened to who do vocal fry supposedly sound the way you sound.
Yeah, because I'm a guy.
No, but you're not doing it with the Valley girl accent.
You don't have to do it with the Valley girl accent.
Well, you do when.
No, because you're
convince me.
That's the thing is you don't know what vocal fry is. You think
I don't know what it is.
You think it's a Valley girl accent. It's not. It's something that happens in the vocal cords.
But then how come people from California are overrepresented in the vocal fry community?
I think part of it is that vocal fry is seen as being like chill. The traditional surfer bro voice. Like, I want to go like catch some waves, man. Just fucking tear it up on the water. That's vocal fry. It has vocal fry in it, but you can do the vocal fry without having the accent. Like, for example, a redneck with vocal fry is totally possible.
Yeah, you're kind of dragging this out now. It's not interesting to me anymore.
I have a character now. It's the redneck with vocal fry.
Can I go and get some coffee while you do this bit for yourself?
I gotta go down to the bait and tackle shop, get me some worms. Okay, so that's a redneck accent, kind of. Let's pretend that I did the redneck accent right. Now let me do it again with vocal fry. I gotta go down to the redneck. Oh well, I gotta go down to the bait and tackle shop and get me some worms. Worms.
Okay, well,
actually, that's kind of like what Matthew McConaughey does.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Well, that was really interesting. Should we move on?
Yeah, after you admit you're wrong.
About what? I haven't made any statements.
You made shitloads of statements that I didn't know what vocal fry was, that I wasn't doing vocal fry.
I'm just saying
you came here with a lot of negative shit to say.
I don't think that your explanation of what vocal fry is very convincing, but that's fine. We can just agree to disagree about that.
Your Swedish ears cannot hear it.
Okay, there's no need to bring race science into this.
Apparently there is.
All right.
If you looked at your skull, you have a shrunken vocal fry range. The top of your temple.
Mm-hmm. Are you done?
Are you going to try doing vocal fry?
No, I don't know how to do it. I don't know what it is. You can
Wait, what? You don't know what it is? I just explained it twice.
You explained it, and it's the shittiest possible explanation.
Now we're just gonna go down.
All right, enough.
Have a good time.
Derek, I'm serious. Stop it. This has nothing to do with what we're here to talk about. So let's just.
And what are we here to talk about? I'm not being sarcastic. Why don't you introduce it?
No, I'm not going to do that.
Why don't you?
I'm a podcast virgin. This is my first podcast. I don't want to be just like, I don't want too much responsibility. I just want to be here and chill and just like, I want to.
You want me to walk you through it?
Yeah, I want to be a supporting character.
Because you're a guest.
Yeah, exactly.
And so you want me to steer the ship?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's fine.
Why are you saying it with such a smug attitude?
No, it's just that, look, this is the first time. This is very novel for me because I've been traveling for a while. And when I do these, when I talk to people about a country, my friend who hasn't been to these places, or like one time I talked to people that were in the place with me but not from there. So this is novel because you're actually from Sweden. You're a Swedish person.
Mm-hmm.
So I was kind of hoping I would turn on, the recording, and then you would be like, let me guide you on a magical journey through Sweden, my homeland, my native land that I love.
Well, I don't love Sweden, and I don't feel or think any of those things. So you're just being ridiculous.
So this is what it's come to.
Yeah. Go ahead.
We'll talk. Okay, so
steer the ship.
Here's my plan.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to be on board for it, but please be present.
Yes.
We'll talk about Sweden.
Fine.
And you'll tell me maybe if I get something wrong, you can enlighten me and tell me the true Swedish thing, right? Because you know more about.
I'll do my best.
You know more about Sweden than I do. You don't have to like it or hate it. Just give me your honest reactions to the things I say.
That's fine. I'm fine with that.
By the way, your attitude towards Sweden, you said you don't like it.
I don't recall saying that.
You said you don't love it.
May have said that, may not have said it.
You're being very difficult.
Yeah, well, get used to it.
Is this a typical Swedish attitude?
Maybe.
Here's another thing, is it's hard for me to tell what Swedish people are like because the entire time I've been in Stockholm, I've just been hanging out like with you.
And whose fault is that? It's not like I made you hang out with me. You were the one who were DMing me, begging me to hang out with you. You were like, please,
okay,
please.
Now you're making up a false history.
Can you please take me to Skansen? I really want to see the bears. That's what you said to me.
We don't have to bring in DMs to this. I miss when they were called PMs, private messages. Now they're just direct messages. Privacy's gone.
They're still called PMs in Facebook.
Yeah.
So maybe you should relocate to Facebook if you want to call them PMs.
My point is, I don't know what Swedish people are like exactly. So it's hard for me to stereotype them. Unless my stereotype of Swedish people is that you are the perfect model Swedish person. But basically what you're telling me is that you're not. You're not a model citizen of Sweden.
Well, I mean, most Swedish people hate Sweden. It's like one of the most self-critical countries in the world.
So you are a typical Swedish person.
I didn't say that.
You won't admit to being typical.
Which is also very Swedish.
I'm glad because, like, on one hand, you're saying that you're not this thing, but on the other hand, you're saying, but all Swedens are like this.
Yeah. But I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm a typical Swede.
What were you saying? The other day we were talking about Swedish people.
Yeah.
And you were saying they all want to be entrepreneurs or something?
Did I say that?
You said all the guys are
No, I said all of the people and all of the men in Stockholm between the ages of 25 and 35 are entrepreneurs.
What does that mean?
I don't know. They self-identify as
they're like success guys. They all like go to the gym and read econ books in their free time. They're
all like platinum blonde, wearing an Armani suit and doing the smile.
That's not going to come across on the podcast.
So
they all do big creepy smiles. Yes. Apparently. You were telling me that
stop sharing things I told you in confidence.
Okay, but
I'm gonna get hate mails because of this.
No. This is all on the level.
One Swedish man is gonna find this podcast and then he's gonna he's gonna post it on one of the Nordic Defense League websites, and they're gonna find my address, and they're gonna mail me some poop.
And you're gonna open the box and eat it because you're Swedish and you like things that are fermented, right, or pickled.
The atmosphere in here is getting very toxic, and I would like us to move on to another subject. Let's talk about something not related to Sweden.
Yo, you made a big mistake. You made a big mistake picking up that microphone. We're supposed to be talking about Swedish, Sid, and I have an opportunity to confront an actual Swedish person, so why would I not do it? I just want to try to get, like, what is the Swedish character? Who are these people? These shadowy people to the north. Looking down their noses at us Americans.
The Swedish character is very reserved, quite narcissistic, fancies himself to be very progressive, very tolerant. At the same time, he is quite condescending towards other cultures, and he likes to pick up some garbage from the street and eat it, and that's his meal.
Okay, everything you said was true except there was one lie in there, and it's that Swedish people are proud of their culture. The trash thing was true.
No, it's not that they're proud of their culture. It's that they think of themselves as very, like, rational compared to other cultures.
I could kind of see that because one of the first things we did was we went to that, what was it called? Midsummer, right?
Yeah.
There was like a midsummer festival.
Mm-hmm.
And that
Which you loved. You loved it. You were
I was getting in touch with my Swedish roots.
You were clapping your hands like a little child and skipping around and saying, "Mommy, mommy, look at me."
I was just imitating all the Swedish people.
Yeah.
No, because we went there. It was a place called Skansen in Stockholm.
Yes.
And it's like an old timey village, but they fix it up to make it look like it's a theme park or some shit almost. You pay.
It's a museum. It's an outdoor museum.
Quote unquote museum. You pay like $25.
It was more like $22
to get into this
like. Yeah, you're being very
rehabilitated old timey village.
Yeah.
And it's the classic thing of like you're walking around and people are dressed up like they're Swedish people from the 1800s, and they're like, "Look, I'm making glass."
Yeah.
Look, I'm
That's not a Swedish accent.
Look, I am carving a little figure out of wood. Of wood.
Do you want me to make the Swedish accent?
Yeah, I wish you would. Could you?
Okay. Yes, I am making the little figure out of wood. That's more
perfect.
Yes, you're welcome.
Good. I think mine was almost as good.
No, it wasn't. Yours was more. Yours was more like when Family Guy does segments and they're trying to imitate what a Swedish person would sound like, but it's off. It's just off.
Look at the garden. Ooh, mamma mia. It's a spicy garden. Was that pretty good?
That's pretty good, yeah.
Moving on. Anyway, we were in this place, Skansen, and it's like traditional Swedish culture, right?
Yes.
And, okay, explain to me because you've told me this before, but I don't understand. I don't understand. The pole.
The midsummer pole?
You have the midsummer pole. You have a midsummer pole, and
why is that funny? First of all,
I'm just laughing because I'm delighted. I'm not.
All right, yeah, you're doing the thing.
It's not a mean-spirited laugh.
The
Julia.
podcast listeners can't see this, but Derek is clapping his hands and he's skipping around and he's.
Well, actually, that's what I am doing, but that's because that's the midsummer dance. So they have the midsummer.
I told you about the midsummer dance.
They have the midsummer pole, and children do a midsummer dance around the pole. Is that true or false? True or false? Midsummer dance around the midsummer pole. That's what happens.
Technically, it's true, but it's fun for the whole family. It's not just for the children. It's for children and adults alike to enjoy and have fun.
It was a rather gay atmosphere, wouldn't you say?
Yes.
It was a merry atmosphere. We went to the Midsummer Festival in Skansen, the old-timey fake village in Stockholm.
Yeah.
And there were women dressed up. By the way, I wanted to say something that I think is very interesting, and I hope this doesn't come across as anti-women or anti-anybody, but the
I'm already offended.
the people they get to be in the Midsummer Festival, it's like they were like, okay,
Oh,
so
you're gonna say something super offensive. I can
no,
see it
no,
on
no,
your
no,
face.
no, but it's like the actresses who play the old-timey Swedish people.
Yes.
It's kind of like they said in the casting call, must be homely, because back in the day, everyone looked like this. Do you know what I mean?
Well,
They-
you really
okay, hold
made
on.
me think you were gonna say something super interesting there.
No, because like
It's kind of anticlimactic.
this is a general statement. This isn't just in Sweden. In America also, when they have recreations, they always find people that look like they would be alive in the 1700s. And they're always like pale and have weird folds on their faces and stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, but I'm waiting for the anti-woman comment.
Well, I just
Oh, is it the
Here-
fact that you're a man?
I'm talking about their appearance.
You're a man standing there and you're belittling women based on their physical appearance. Is that what you're doing?
Men and women. So that would be my response is that the men also look
I was with you and I could definitely see you judging the women more than you were judging the men. And that could possibly be because when we were at Skansen, and this is not typical for midsummer festivals in general, but it is for Skansen, they put on like shows. They do a little show, a little play, and a little dancing.
they had music and what was the play about?
The play was about a village, an old-timey village. Finally, winter's over. Finally, we have food and warmth, and we're not lying together in a pile naked, trying to conserve heat. Summer is here. That was what the play was about, and a dangerously beautiful milkmaid, as you may recall.
Right. There was a narrator. She came out and she was like, "The dangerously beautiful milkmaid is tempting all the was it roustabouts or something, all the young ruffians."
Yeah. Which were
And the landowner, the noble landowner, is even hanging out with the shitty fucking farmers.
Yeah, I remember. There was like three Swedish women who were all wearing hijabs, and three men, Swedish men, who were all dressed as Disney princes.
Yeah.
Came
Actually-
out, and they were all skipping around, trying to flirt with the milkmaids.
The game they played was they were dancing around, and then the men literally chased these milkmaids down and like grabbed after them.
That was what you did back then. I mean, it's hard to tell.
Oh, is that not part of contemporary Swedish society?
No, we had Me Too here too. It's not acceptable anymore. You can't do that to your local milkmaid. Let's move on. That's not Derek went to Skansen. That's not representative of midsummer festivals in general. That's just representative of Skansen and Sweden and the
But it's like the traditional thing that like is a founding pillar of the Swedish national identity.
yeah, I
Perhaps.
guess.
Because we even talked about it. Like they were doing the traditional folk songs, and there were like old people there that were kind of like fucking bobbing their head, like, yeah, I love.
Yeah, they were all now Nazis.
They're all nationalists.
Yeah. There's not a normal Swedish person who goes to Skansen on midsummer. It was just
It
us.
made sense for me to be there because I'm a tourist.
Yeah, it was just
and you're showing me
tourists
around.
and Nazis.
You told me before
Mm-hmm.
that you want to leave Sweden.
Let's talk about. Let's just put all of my personal shit on the table. Everything I told you in
Oh
confidence.
God, is this
Derek.
too near and dear to you?
Yeah,
That you want to leave Sweden?
Yeah.
How is this personal?
I don't like the climate. Okay, is that so wrong?
Great. This is a great jumping off point. Now we can talk about the Swedish climate.
Sure, go ahead.
Because I'm here in the middle of summer, hence midsommar, right? Right?
I don't know what accent you were trying
Midsommar. It's midsummer with an A.
to. Midsommar.
Midsommar.
All right.
Why are you looking at me with contempt?
Moving on.
So I'm here during midsummer.
I'm not gonna correct you. Just go ahead.
I'm here in the middle of summer, let's call it.
Yeah. That's
And
exactly what it is.
this should be like the hottest time of the year, but I came in, it was like early 50, not early, it's like low 50s.
You're speaking in, I'm assuming, Fahrenheit, and I don't know what that is.
It was cold. I
It was
came
cold
in
when
and it
you
was
came here.
cold and
Yeah,
windy.
it was cloudy and it was windy and it was cold.
It's just surprising to be in a place where it's like that in the middle of summer. So I can understand why you
But
wouldn't
it's
like
not
the
middle
climate.
of summer, technically. Summer is June, July, and August. So you came here in the beginning of summer.
Wait, then why is it called midsummer?
Midsummer is what's it called in English when
Anyway, it's cold and shit in Sweden. Some days it's hot, but even then it's not that hot. I can't do this in Celsius.
it's like 30
It's
degrees
like
Celsius
30 degrees Celsius,
when it's hot.
but that to me that's still not that hot.
Okay, we get it. You're a hotness snob.
A little bit, yeah. I mean, honestly, I like going to the desert and shit. I want like maximum heat and no humidity
Okay.
is the thing I really like. But I don't know. I normally think people that grow up in a place that kind of become acclimated to the weather.
Mm-hmm.
You're used to it, but you still don't like it.
No. The worst part about Swedish climate is not really the fact that it's windy and cold a few days in the summertime or half of the days in summertime. Because, I mean, I can deal with that, but it's the fact that it's so dark during the winter and it's so light during the summer. The sun sets too early in the winter and it sets almost like not at all in the summer.
Do you actually you don't like that?
No, I hate it.
Well, you were like making fun of me earlier because I was complaining about
Yeah,
it.
because you were complaining like a little child. You were like, "Oh, I can't sleep. I can't sleep."
That's
The
just
sun-"
my American accent. We all sound like that. Help me, mommy! I can't sleep. I can't sleep. I'm American. I need my sleep. I need my 8 hours of sleep per night. My doctor told me.
Yeah, that's why I was making fun of you. But I do agree with the sentiment that it's light too many hours, which is fine. It's not as bad as the winter time when it's dark,
Right.
where you wake up in the morning and it's dark, you go to work or you go to school, and you get off work or school and it's still dark. And it's light maybe 3 hours during the day.
Yeah, that sounds like fucking punishing. To live in darkness, I feel like it would fuck you up psychologically. And like on the flip side of that, I had heard, of course, about how like in the north, it's light longer. And before coming here, I always thought, oh yeah, that would be cool as hell, because it's like the day lasts the entire time you're awake. You know what I mean? Like you can just keep doing stuff until midnight and it's still light outside. Like I was walking around a couple nights ago. It looked like it was afternoon, but it was like 11 p.m. There was no one on the street. It was very bizarre. It's actually upsetting to me. It's upsetting because I'm awake all day, the sun's out all day. Normally I love the sun. I love my vitamin D.
Yeah, you're a California boy.
There you go.
You're a Cali boy.
I'm glad you're saying the thing I wanted you to say when I point to you.
You're pointing at me and you're going, Julia, say it.
Exactly.
Derek is a Cali soy boy.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
But I like the sun, but it's insane when you are in bed and it's fucking midnight and there's still like a little bit of red light coming in through the window, and then I start to like drift off to sleep. And then an hour later, I open my eyes and the sun is fucking coming back up. Like it didn't go all the way down. It just like hovered on the horizon for
Yeah.
a second and then came back up. And so I get up and it's 3 a.m. and it's daytime. Like what the fuck happened? I didn't even get to have the night. It turns out I really need the night to sleep. So the entire time I've been in Sweden, I've been like sleep deprived. Like even though I've been eating well, eating a lot of food, I've been getting out, getting my exercise, I've been doing everything right. It's fucking discombobulated me.
It's what?
Discombobulated. That's a fancy English word. It just means it's fucked me all up.
I see. Okay.
It's fucked me all up having the sun do this shit. It's like I feel like I'm like in hell. I'm in a witch country or something.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you, Derek. I agree with everything you're saying objectively. Like, you're right, and I agree with you. But there's something very whiny about the way you say it that makes me go like, "Oh, boo-hoo."
I have not been fully rested the entire time I've been here.
I think
Look, dude, and I like Sweden. It's a first world country. It's very nice. It's got the best public transportation I've seen. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful country, but I'm like not at home here because
wah,
I'm doing
wah,
battle with the
wah,
fucking sun.
wah, wah, wah. Can't sleep unless mommy tucks me in.
Mommy, bring me my sleeping cap. Put on my socks. Put on my socks for me, mommy.
That's what I hear every time I hear a white man complain about something.
Well, luckily white men rarely complain about things, so.
Systemic privilege isn't enough for you. You need the climate to adapt to
Mommy, I need systemic privilege.
Yeah. Half of the podcast is going to be me doing that laugh.
Good.
Fine.
Great laugh.
Good. Thanks.
But to me, that's such a radical change to go from like 3 hours of daytime to 3 hours of darkness throughout the year. Again, I know I'm asking like a stupid question because this is just how it's been your whole life. You're
Yeah.
probably used to it. But are you used to it? Like, does that shit not sneak up on you? Because this is weird. It's weird to me.
It's not weird to me because it's like I don't even think about it until you got here and you started complaining about it.
Okay,
And
but let me put it another way. Does it affect you in like what you get done? Like, do you get more shit done during the summer because it's light all day? On the winter, are you like depressed?
yeah, you get depressed during the winter. Absolutely.
Okay, so you're not totally like.
Yeah, but I think it's also like seasonal depression it's just something that Swedish people are used to, and you don't talk about it. You just ignore it, and then the summer comes and it's fine again. And that's how you live your life until you die.
Wait, you guys get your vitamin D from your pickled herring, don't you?
What kind of question is that? That's the most.
Do you?
First of all, that's offensive. Secondly, yes, you can get your vitamin D from the fish foods, but it's also because the people here are super pale. They're so white, they're translucent, and they don't need a lot of vitamin D. They just go into the sun once every year, 15 minutes, and that's it. They're set for the whole year.
What do you do?
I wither away. Look at me. I look all gray. I look like I'm dying, and I am probably. I'm gonna live 15 years less than I would if I was living in a warm climate.
So you're gonna die like in the next year or two?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I try to travel to warmer places, Turkey now and then. Try to get my son in other countries.
Your son? Why don't we talk about him? Who's the father? Where's your boy? Do you not care about his whereabouts? His welfare?
Are we doing some sort of bit now? Are we doing
No, I'm
some
just
sort
bullying
of,
you for no reason.
some Drake, Pusha T rap beef kind of thing?
Nice reference.
Thank you. Everyone who listens to this podcast is going to understand that reference. You
Yeah.
probably didn't because you're
Well,
not.
I'm not going to put this podcast out for like 8 more months, so they won't understand it. They'll be like, what the
They'll
fuck
understand
is he
it, but they'll be like,
talking about? Drake will be dead by the time this podcast is released. I guarantee it.
well, it makes sense because everything comes to Sweden very late. So we just got some of the 90s music here.
Is that true?
Yes, Derek, it's true. We don't have internet. Nothing comes.
You can't be sarcastic with me because, first of all, your voice doesn't change. And also, you're Swedish. So I want to believe you because I love Swedish people.
I'm actually Turkish. If I don't want people listening to this to think that I'm Swedish, that they're listening to
You were born in what country?
Sweden.
And you've lived in what country for most of your life?
What's your point?
You're Swedish.
Well, you can't.
You're super Swedish. You came
can't-
over here and you cooked me buckwheat today.
That's not a Swedish food. That's
Well,
just
like I
what
said,
like to eat.
like I said earlier, my stereotype of what Swedish people are is based entirely on you. So I learned it all from you.
That's true. I really am like your mother in a sense.
It's kind of been that sort of relationship. Because, I'm on my own. I have to navigate everything by myself, and it's a lot of me like trying to communicate with people and not really being able to do it. And I go to different places and I'm confused about what to do, and I like waste a shitload of time because I'm like getting lost and stuff like that. That's normally what happens to me like in every country I've been in. But with you, like we've been hanging out a lot, and
We have, yeah.
you just tell me where to go. You're like, just
That's right.
get on the Aspudden train.
Mm-hmm.
There's a train stop called Aspudden.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll go into like a store or a restaurant, and you'll talk to them, and I won't have to do anything. Like, you'll start speaking Swedish to the person. You even like got up and got the English menu for me. I was just sitting. I mean, like people probably think that I'm like fucking.
Do you have
I'm
any friends
incapable.
except for me, Derek? Do you have any friends that aren't me? Because what you're describing here is just a regular friendship.
A regular friendship is that you like basically take me by the hand everywhere we go, and you talk to people for me.
In a country where you don't speak the language, yes.
It's just funny because it's like we've gone to restaurants, and like people come up and they say something in Swedish to both of us, and I kind of just like look away, like don't talk to me, talk to my mom, and then and then you deal with it for me.
That's right.
You like place the order, you do everything.
That's right, sweetheart. And I will always be there for you to do that.
Even if I pay, I'll pay, and they'll say something to me in English, like, "Oh, you got to sign" or whatever, and then they'll say something to you in Swedish, like, "Is he
They'll
okay?"
be like, yeah.
I don't even know what you guys are talking about.
Yeah, they're just saying you're really strong for raising this retarded son of yours on your own.
Is this boy going to be all right?
They say, I really admire.
Do you guys have a place to stay
Single
tonight?
moms are so strong. Let me take you out for dinner later. I'll get a
I hate when I'm out with my mom and everyone's hitting on her.
Yeah. I'll get a babysitter for your dumbass son, and we can go and have sex. That's what they're saying most of the time.
And how do you say that in Swedish?
I don't want to say that in Swedish.
Oh, come on. You got to speak some Swedish on the podcast.
You want me to say that exact sentence?
Yeah. You came up with it. I'm not putting words in your mouth.
I can't say that.
Well, just pick anything you like, but don't make it racist.
Hej, jag heter Sven och jag gillar att äta fisk och pilla på min kuk.
Okay, I think I know what you said.
Go ahead.
Hey, this is my friend Sven. Would you like to go out and get snacks or stay home and cook?
That's exactly what I said.
I recognize the words Sven, fisk, and cook.
And what's fisk?
Isn't that snack? No, that's fika.
Yeah.
Fika is snack, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so fisk is fish.
Exactly.
Okay.
Good. You're learning. You're
So,
doing better than most people.
Okay, so you were saying, Sven, do you want to have some fish?
I said my name is Sven. Sven.
Swen.
Sven.
Swim. My name is Swim.
I said my name is Sven. Actually, I don't remember what I said. I said I like fish and I like playing with my dick or something like that.
What is the Swedish word for dick?
Kuk.
Kuk.
That's like cock.
Cock, yeah. I got there. Don't worry. Dick is dock, right?
Yeah.
That's the Swedish word.
Yeah.
What were we talking about?
We were talking about how I'm your mother.
Oh, yeah. Well, it was nice because this is like the easiest time I've had being in any country because, like, not that I'm like afraid of the difficulty, but like the logistics of it can wear a person down. But in this country, in Sweden, it's like I'm a baby and you just tell me what to do and we go to places and you just do everything for me and it's wonderful. Like I could do this forever.
Yeah.
It's very easy.
That's why men go from having a mother to having a wife. So that they can
get
just
that wife mom.
Yeah, just to get a wife mom who will baby you forever. And you can have the way you've had it here with me being your wife mom is how you can have it for the rest of your life. You just gotta find someone to wife.
But here's the things you didn't do as a wife mom that I kind of missed out on. So, for example, you didn't say coochie coochie coo.
Don't know what that is. Coochie means pussy.
Oh, It means like when you grab a baby's cheek and like coochie coochie coo, coochie coochie coo.
You don't actually have to grab my cheek, Derek. They're not going to
Oh,
see
I wanted to illustrate for you.
it. Okay.
You know, do they do that in Sweden or do they?
They
say
don't
something?
say coochie coochie coo. They don't say.
They don't say pussy pussy pussy
No.
while touching a baby's
No.
face.
But they do. We squeeze cheeks. I mean, a Swedish person would never squeeze another stranger's baby's cheeks. Like in Turkey, we do that all the time. We're like, a lot of the time, without even asking, you just go up to someone else's baby and you just talk to them in a baby voice. You pick them up. You take them home with you.
The baby voice is universal, right?
Yeah.
That's in Sweden, Turkey, America. That's in every country.
Yes.
There's no country where someone's like, "Hello, baby. Nice to meet you."
I mean, that's something that if you're autistic is universal. in
I try
every
to shake a
culture.
baby's hand.
Yeah, don't shake it. Don't shake the baby too much because that's illegal.
I asked the baby what it thinks about the Iraq War.
Good.
You were talking about how. Sorry, I had like a fucking aneurysm. Just like 17 seconds of silence because I was just like, "Who are you? Where am I?"
You forgot where you were. I
I don't even know what I'm doing. I accidentally thought about my life, and that just like brought everything to a screeching halt. I was like, God, what am I gonna do with my fucking life? You said that like part of the reason you see Swedish people as uptight, you do. This isn't my words. I'm not being offensive. You're the insider, not me. Is because you also like are close to the country Turkey, right?
You can just say that I'm Turkish. It's fine. It's not. You're not gonna get hate mail.
You have some kind of relationship with the country of Turkey. Perhaps members of your family lived there, had been born there. Who knows?
I am ethnically Turkish. If someone were to measure my skull, they would immediately see that I was not from the Northern Europe area.
You have an enlarged Turkish part of your skull.
Yes.
So you're Turkish, and you've spent some time in Turkey, and you like the way they act there, like generally, like
No.
okay, but I mean like the social attitude.
I mean, there are aspects of Turkey I like, or Turkish culture, and there are aspects of Swedish culture that I prefer over the Turkish ones. Turkish people are generally very warm, very social, very hospitable. They'll invite you into their homes, they'll cook you some nice meals, and they'll send you on your way. Swedish people are generally very reserved. They're very asexual, depressed, and they also respect your personal space, which is like is a thing that Turkish people are sometimes struggle to do, respecting your personal space. See, if you look like shit and you go out on the street in Sweden, people are gonna give you some looks, maybe, but they're gonna be passive aggressive about it. If
They're gonna give you an eye roll or something at the most.
If you look like shit and in Turkey and you just go out on the street and you just talk to some stranger, you go to the grocery store, people there are gonna be like, "What the fuck is wrong with you? You dumb cunt. Why are you dressed like that?"
They'll say it in English.
Yeah.
Fix your weave, sis.
Yeah, that's what they'll say. Word for word. They'll be like, "What's with this loose pussy bitch?" is what they'll say. Anyways, yeah, they'll be more aggressive about it, whereas Swedish people are more passive aggressive. So I do like having my space respected. I do like being left alone, but I also like people being nice to me. And I also like people just treating me, just like old people treating me like I'm their niece or their grandchild that they haven't seen in years, which is what happens in Turkey. I go to Turkey, and immediately, just some woman at the bank will see me, and she'll start squeezing my cheeks, and she'll be like, "You're the most beautiful girl I've ever seen in my life."
Are you serious?
Yeah. She'll be like, "What are you doing?" And I'll be like,
That's something that actually happened?
Yeah, it happens all the time. They're like, "So what are you doing? What are you doing? Where are you from?" And I'll be like, "I'm from Sweden and I'm studying." And they'll be like, "You're the best human being I've ever met in my life." Yeah, I'm paraphrasing. That might not be the exact, but it'll be scenarios like
A
that.
woman squeezed you and said something.
Yeah. And I like that. Is that such a crime that I
No,
like?
I think that's cool. It sounds like Turkey has a very like warm, inviting atmosphere,
Yes.
a kind of like familiar, like everybody's
Yes.
part of it.
Yes, yes.
I mean, that might be partially because you're ethnically Turkish. Like,
Exactly.
if I go there, they're not going to be like, "Oh, look at this 29-year-old beautiful white boy." What are you doing here? Making a podcast. Oh, that's so. You're so smart. Do you have a Patreon? Giving me kisses on the forehead.
They would probably say nice things about you. They would probably try to marry you off to their daughter.
Oh, I can't wait to go to Sweden. Turkey.
Are you all right? Do you know which country is which?
It's all blended
I'm
together.
afraid to send you away to Istanbul on your own.
It's all blended together.
You're gonna be robbed as. The thing is, if you're a white person going to Turkey, you're gonna get robbed and you're gonna get scammed, and you're gonna sit down at a restaurant and they're gonna give you one menu, and they're gonna give the Turkish people another menu. That's a fraction of the cost.
Yeah, but I mean, it's still going to be fairly cheap, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't care that much, honestly.
You've just been to Sweden, so it's like it's gonna be cheap.
Right. Yeah. I mean, like if they're gonna make me pay $5 instead of $2, I don't give a shit. Like I'm not gonna. It doesn't matter. White people tax. Fine. I'll pay it. Gladly.
Yeah, white people tax. It's $5 instead of $2. That's 150% increase.
I'm a white person. I just have so much money. $3 whole. I don't care. Whatever. I was thinking about what you said about Swedish people, how they're asexual and depressed and reserved, and I was like, oh, that's why it's been so easy for me here.
Yeah. You fit in perfectly, I would say. You fit in better than I do.
I like coming to a place and like being like, oh yeah, this is my kind of place.
Yeah, it's like you've returned to your mothership.
I'm just saying, some places you go to and it's like harder to get along with the local people there because they're like...
Do you feel like you've gotten along with the local people?
It's hard to tell. Because like I said...
You haven't interacted with anyone.
Yeah, everybody's been mediated through you.
So what are you talking about?
But at the same time, nobody's like been weird at me or like taken me aside or said something to me or tried to get something out of me. Like my experience in Sweden has been very comfortable. And I think part of that is it's, like, okay, it's a first world country, people aren't going to be like begging me for money necessarily or whatever. It's also like part of the culture is like reserved. You don't like bother people, right? I mean, am I...
Yes.
Okay,
sure.
So that's all I was saying. It's easy to be in Sweden because no one's going to fuck with you. At the same time, yeah, it's not like in a warm place exactly. Like, I haven't had like a great conversation with anybody. Anybody, Julia. Haven't had a great conversation with anybody.
If you think I'm going to be offended that you think that you haven't had a great conversation with me, well, think again, because I have a rich, fulfilling social life, and I've had plenty of conversations with other people while you've been here. For instance, there was this 18-year-old waiter who was flirting with me when I was at a restaurant with Derek. He was like, "Who's this? Your boyfriend? He's not good enough for you."
That guy was a punk.
He was in love with me. He wanted to run away with me, and that was one of the best conversations I've had all year. And that was during the time that you were here.
That guy looked like a sex offender. He looked like an apprentice sex offender, like he was training to become a full-time sex offender.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
And that's what drove you wild about him.
He was hot.
What? No, what the fuck was I saying? Something about Swedish people?
You were saying that you feel very comfortable here because everyone is an asexual freak and a retard, and you are all of those things. So you feel right at home, and you love being here, and you would like to live here, and you don't understand why I don't fit in here because I'm not any of those things.
Okay, first of all, it's offensive to say retard. So
I've said it like 10 times during this podcast, and I don't care.
So let's just say person who's retarded.
Okay.
But so, you're more of a Swedish person.
Excuse me? What kind of a transition topic is that?
I don't know. I forgot what I was going to talk about. Hold on, let me look at my notes. I wrote like 4 notes.
Do you really have notes for this? Because I really cannot tell at all.
I have like 4 sentences I wrote down. Like one sentence is just midsummer. Another sentence is public transport.
Oh yeah, let's talk about that. That's the most interesting topic.
You don't appreciate, but the public transport here is extremely good. It's
I
like
guess
very high
it's
level.
good. Yeah, it's good. It's organized. It's highly effective, except for the regular trains, like not the subway, but the regular trains. They arrive late. They're always under construction. It's always something fucked up with the train tracks during the winter. They're
Okay,
always like
but
frozen.
it's all on one system. You've got the trains, the subways, and the buses all on like one card that you get.
Yes.
And it's very convenient.
And don't forget about the ferries.
The ferries. We went on a fucking ferry. We got on the water using the same public transport ticket that we get on the bus and on the subway with. Like, how's that not amazing?
Yeah.
We went to an island via the ferry.
That was also an island I think we could have gotten on via just a bus or a subway.
Yeah, but riding the ferry is magical.
Yeah, but we went on the ferry, and it was a 15-minute ride. Derek was clapping his hands the whole time, going, "Mom, you."
You know, I don't know what you find so amusing as a reserved, judgmental Swedish person. Just because I'm like a child who's delighted by the sights and sounds of a foreign place doesn't mean you should mock me.
You're right.
Why can't you
sorry,
be happy
sweetie.
for me?
I'm
You
sorry.
should be more like me.
I don't agree with that necessarily, but you're right. I have been hard on you.
I think
Derek was clapping his hands like an adult on the ferry.
Thank
he
you.
was looking very dignified, and he was saying, "Mommy, mommy, look at me," in a very adult
you.
voice. You're welcome.
That's 100% accurate.
Well, then we've established that, and we can move on to the rest of the public transport system. It's subways, it's trains, it's buses, ferries, and trams.
I guess this is a boring subject. Public transport.
Yeah, it's super boring.
It's boring to you because it fucking works. But to me, it's kind of like a miracle because it's weird to have good public transport. And this is the best public transport I've seen besides like South Korea. So I don't know. It's interesting to me. Also, a thing that's interesting to me is on your subways, instead of having everybody sit side by side and you face towards the aisle, you guys have seats of 4. So it's 2 seats facing each other, 2 seats on the other side, and they're facing each other in little like carriages. And I don't know, that's interesting. I don't have anything to say about it.
Yeah,
I just think it's fucking interesting.
You're just being very enthusiastic about how the train is organized, and I don't know. I feel like this is like a meme that if you're this enthusiastic about how trains are organized, you probably are on the spectrum.
You went to New York.
Yes.
You rode on the subway there.
Yes.
True or false, it sucks compared to Sweden.
I mean, the thing about New York subways was that it was just impossibly hot. I went there during the summer, and I don't know the physics of it. I don't know how that works, but you go underground, and it's so fucking hot. It's like a sauna, and you're just like sweating. Your makeup is just like melting off your face.
I hate when my makeup melts.
Shut the fuck up. Your hair is just like getting wet from all the sweat. And your clothes are just like sliding off of your body. You're covered in slime. You're standing there naked.
So you're saying it's good?
I'm saying it was the best experience of my life.
Naked and standing in slime in the New York subway.
It was hotter than above ground.
Yeah, I don't really understand how that works.
I don't either.
I mean, everywhere I've been, in every country, it's colder underground. It seems like it should be colder underground.
If any of our listeners know why the subway is so fucking hot, please write to us.
You know, I like how you started this and you seemed like a little bit like, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I want to do the podcast, blah, blah, blah. And then you're like, our listeners, please write to us.
This is my podcast now.
I know, you've taken complete ownership of it.
I mean, this episode is mine, and then you can go back to having your podcast.
Okay, well, what do you want to talk about on your episode?
I would
What do
like.
you care about? What's near and dear to you?
I care about politics.
Oh boy.
Um,
Super fucking interesting. I bet they don't have any podcasts about that.
how about that guy who's president in America?
Hold on. Who is president of Sweden?
We don't have a president. How have you been here this
Prime
long?
Minister.
We have
Chancellor.
our queen.
Are you serious?
We do have a king and a queen, but our prime minister is Stefan Löfven from the Social Democrats.
The Social Democrats. Do we like this guy?
No.
What's his deal?
I'm sorry, he looks a bit like a pedophile. He talks a bit like a pedophile. I'm sure he's perfectly nice. His politics sucks.
What is it? Does he smell like a pedophile?
I haven't smelled him, but I'm sure he does. His politics suck, and the thing is, I don't think that he's a vicious person. He's just really dumb looking. And when he talks, he sounds really dumb.
So
I'm trying not to say the R word because I know you get upset and you start crying when I do that.
I have a fit, that's all.
Yeah, you start stomping like a little child.
I drool even more than normal.
You lie down on the floor, you start rolling around, you're crying, you're saying, "Mommy, mommy."
Mommy, mommy.
Why would you do that, mommy? Is what you say in your most adult voice.
By the way, how'd you learn English again? It was from school and from watching TV, right?
It was solely from watching TV.
How long have you been watching American television?
So I would tape my eyelids open, and I would just put on American shows, American classics like Cheers, Friends, another classic, The O.C., another classic, Gilmore Girls. All of those, like the folkiest, the most American kind of shows. Seinfeld, all of those.
Okay, now I know you're joking because you told me you didn't watch Seinfeld.
All of those, I would put them on.
Asshole.
I would tape my...
Asshole. What shows did you actually watch?
When I was little, I would watch Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I'm trying to think. It was just like the ones that were on after school, which was they're just like witch-based shows, like Sabrina, Charmed. There's a lot of witch.
For a while there was like a whole witch-based block of American TV shows in Sweden.
And they were all like all of the reruns of those shows were on after school for me.
And like you weren't watching them to like learn English. You were just watching them because you like witch TV.
Yeah, I wanted
right?
to be a witch.
That's a normal girl thing. Most girls don't grow out of that, so.
I still believe I am a witch. I mean, I've been enrolled in a couple of scandals because of my commitment to witchcraft.
Speak on that.
Once I stole some bones from a cemetery, and it became this whole thing on Tumblr, and people were disrespecting me.
I can't tell if you're joking or not.
I'm referring to a scandal that actually happened, Derek. You're online so much, and
I don't know every fucking micro history of dumbass websites I didn't even go to. What happened on Tumblr? Tell me the story.
This has nothing to do with the...
I don't care. Now I'm interested. Someone stole bones from a cemetery?
I think it was someone stole some bones from a cemetery for a witchcraft ritual, and there was like a blog post calling them out, and it got shared like 1 million times, and it started making the rounds like around Twitter, Facebook, and the person who stole the bones responded and was like, "Well, this is so typical. White people be disrespecting my witchcraft culture."
Was it really like, oh, they don't respect Wiccans?
Yeah.
It's part of my culture to steal bones from a cemetery. Is that what the...
Yes.
Okay. That's a fairly... I accept that take. Speaking of Wiccans...
Yeah.
Are Swedish people religious? Because we were walking around, remember, and we saw those Hare Krishna guys?
Yeah.
Is that a big thing here? I haven't seen that in any other country.
Swedish people... Really?
I've not seen the Hare Krishna guys... We were like walking through downtown Stockholm, And the Hare Krishna guys came out and they were singing their songs.
Yeah, that happened to us like 2 or 3 times.
And their songs are always like, all the lyrics are Hare Krishna. So
Yeah,
it's just
it's
like,
beautiful.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
That's not the right melody at all.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, baby. I think I said that it would be easy to join a Hare Krishna band because you could know all the lyrics right away.
Yeah, great joke. I'm glad you recycled that for the podcast.
When I said that, I was like, this is a wonderful podcast bit.
This is a classic bit.
No, but like we saw a bunch of those people. Is that like a big thing here?
Yeah, I mean, you see them a lot. I think Swedish people abandoned Christianity very early. They were never really that into it. They were always, they just went from believing in Thor and his hammer and stuff like that into Christianity, but they never fully embraced it,
Right. It was fake to them.
Yeah. It was just like, it was a phase. Now they're all about crystals and yoga and...
oh, so it's like LA.
Yeah. Don't you remember when we were like having coffee and...
Oh, yeah. There was that lady talking about chakras and yogic poses.
It's just she had just mixed every single...
Just everything.
Yeah,
just, what do you believe in?
Yeah, aliens.
Everything. I believe in fucking... anything anybody tells me, yes, I believe that.
Yeah, and that's, I think, if you're going to talk about religion in Sweden, you're going to find those kind of people.
Right. Are there still fuckers that run around believing in Thor and Odin and shit, or no? Are there any Thor revivalists?
I don't know. Maybe.
Because sometimes, like, there's statues of, like, a guy.
Yeah, well, that's about embracing your culture.
Well, that's what I mean, is, like, I wouldn't... to me, it would make sense, like, if somebody was, like, a weird far-right Swedish nationalist, if they were also, like, a Viking guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, those guys are mostly Christian. They're not authentic.
You guys also have like rune stones and shit out here, and
yeah, you didn't want to go see any, so I don't know where you're bringing it up.
Like on TripAdvisor, I was looking up things to do outside of Stockholm, and normally when I look that up for a city, it's like it lists a bunch of like cool hikes or like interesting parks or whatever the fuck. And I look it up for Stockholm, it's just like rune stones. Like you can go look at a special rock.
Yeah, but it's like stones made by like Vikings or stuff, isn't it?
Yeah. Day trips from Stockholm. Number 1, bro be bro. Which
you're just having a grand old time to yourself.
It's a graveyard. I mean, it has a picture of it, and it's just rocks. It's like 3 rocks. Number 2. This is number 2. Jarla Bank runestones. And it has a picture of it, and it's a rock. Natural ice fields. You can go look at... Well, we can't do that at summertime. So just like all the places around Stockholm that you can visit are like rocks.
So did you just call me here to roast the city I live in?
I'm not roasting it. I think we've already established that not only do I love Sweden more than you, I'm also more authentically Swedish.
Yeah, because you're white. Is that what you're trying to say? Go home, immigrant. Is that what you're trying to say?
I just feel like you're...
Return to your home country. Is that what you're trying to say?
It has nothing to do with color, but it does have to do with like a purity, perhaps, that maybe a certain spirit embodies that's just more protective of the identity of the natural, national Swedish spirit.
You're saying that you have a burden to enlighten me? Is that what you're saying?
I think I can change you.
Well, we'll see.
Oh, but we did go on a cool day trip.
Yes, we did, Derek. Good job. You keep having this look in your face like you're...
Far off look.
You're just forgetting where you are. You're forgetting who I am and what we're doing.
This happens every time I sit down to talk because it's just like... After a minute, I'm like, what the fuck did I do? See, this is why I should take more notes. Because it's like, I don't have like a coherent view of what's happened to me. Not only during like this trip, not only in Sweden, but also in my whole life. Like, I don't have a story line to my life. It's just a bunch of shit that happened. So how are you supposed to remember a bunch of fucking random shit that happened when there's nothing tying it together? Where's the thread?
But you took a bunch of photos. That's like taking notes.
We went on like a day trip to a town north of Stockholm called Uppsala.
Uppsala. It's up.
Uppsala.
Yeah, it's up.
Is that literally what it means?
I don't know what
Uppsala?
up means up.
It means north.
Sure.
Okay. We took a trip to this place. It's like a college town, an old college town.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was really nice because in Stockholm, it's like even though it's a city with a lot of old architecture and beautiful buildings, we kept stopping when we were walking, and you would be like, "Look at that building, it's pretty."
Yeah, that's
True
what I said.
true or false? You said
That's-
that. You said that a lot.
I said that a lot, and it's a normal thing to say when you're in a picturesque place like Uppsala. There's a lot of pretty buildings.
No, even in Stockholm, we're saying that. Stockholm has a lot of old buildings that are like colorful, and
Yeah.
the harbor's very beautiful.
Yeah.
Like Stockholm is a pretty place, but Uppsala is. I mean, it's a smaller town, but it's even more, I think, Disneyfied or whatever.
Yeah.
It really looks like a magical place.
Like Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah, Beauty and the Beast. That's what I was thinking.
A lot of it felt similar to Old Town, the neighborhood in Stockholm.
Yeah, but the thing about Town in Stockholm is that it's also like a touristy shithole. Like
Yeah.
everything there is like
souvenir shops.
souvenir shops and like dumb T-shirts. Didn't we see like a shirt selling like the troll face or something stupid like that?
Yeah, and one that just said, "Trust me, I'm a doctor."
So it was cool to get out and see all the old shit, but it's not like been super commercialized for outside tourists. Although I guess a lot of Stockholmers go to Uppsala, for day trips probably.
I mean, you're being kind of snobbish. You're being a bit of a hipster. Like, ooh, I can't go to Old Town. It's
Well,
so
I have to be.
touristy."
Dude, if I'm only going to be in a place for like a week, I have to form my opinions fast. What am I going to do? Leave a place without being judgmental about it? I have to find out whether or not I'm doing the cool shit.
That's right. Go ahead. Be judgmental all you want.
But the thing that was also kind of interesting to me about was that you had never been there. You had never gone to this place.
I knew you were going to bring that up. I knew you were going to bring that up.
Because it's weird. It's weird that...
Okay, I'm not interested in seeing stuff around me. I'm not interested in exploring new places. I went and I did it for your sake. Because I was like,
But that's so funny, because I was here for like a week, right? And immediately it's like, okay, I've kind of seen Stockholm. Let me see more. I'm hungry for experience. I'm a young traveler.
Because you're a
And you
little...
live here and you haven't gone to fucking the one other town in Sweden that you can drive to from Stockholm.
Yeah, because you're a little child and you want to see new things all the time. You want to be stimulated, and if you're not, you start crying and stomping your feet. But for me, I'm an adult. I can just stay at home.
It's just fascinating to me that like let me put it this way. I hope this doesn't sound condescending, but
I'm already offended.
let me just paint a picture for you of how I see your day-to-day life. You sit around, unfulfilled, sighing for about 20 hours a day. Sighing.
Okay.
Just unfulfilled, listless. You don't know about like the magic of the outside world. I come in. I've been traveling. I'm tan. I come in. I'm tan from traveling.
You're so tan.
I say, what does this place have to offer me? And I take you around Stockholm and I show you a side of the city you never even saw before. As a local, you didn't even know existed. Not only that, but I take you to Uppsala, a town to the north of Stockholm that you knew about, but you had never had the courage, the will to drive yourself to Uppsala. But I take you there and you fall in love with it. You see the beautiful small cafes. You see them through my eyes. And you're like, now I appreciate this place. And I remember when you turned to me and you said, Derek, thank you so much for showing me how beautiful my homeland, Sweden, is. And now I appreciate it and I'm never going to move away.
Yeah.
Is what you said.
Yeah. You know what you are, Derek? You're my manic pixie dream girl is what you are. You're the trope
I just
that comes
came in
along,
and I shook up your whole life.
and you made me see the world with new eyes again, and now you're my muse, and you've cured my writing block.
That's right.
So,
I've like sort of sparked life back into you,
mm-hmm.
cured your depression, and made you see like, hey, we're just all on this crazy blue planet spinning around the sun. You know, there's not that much time left in our lives. You got to get out there, just live.
If you think about it, we're just on a huge, big spaceship going through space, is what you made me realize.
We're on a spaceship. Open your eyes and enjoy the sunshine.
And when
So
you leave,
aren't you thankful?
I'm gonna go back to exactly how it was before, and I'm gonna be like, whew, I'm glad that's over. And I can go back to my regular day to day life of not doing a bunch of shit and just relaxing.
To be real for a second though, when somebody comes into town and you have to go around to all these like touristy places that you either don't like going to or avoid or whatever, how has this made you feel? Because we've been hanging out like every day, so I don't know. Has this been like a big annoying?
Yeah, it's been super annoying. No, I mean it's been such a change because I was right before Jarek came here just a few weeks ago. I fell and I sprained my ankle. So before you got here, I was just sitting at home resting and not leaving my house at all, just trying to get my ankle to heal. And then you came along and we went and we did a bunch of shit. I walked out of my house. I let the sun hit my face again. I started to feel my heart of ice melt. That's as
Did all the walking help your foot? By the way,
I really feel like my foot is healing.
that's cool. Because I was looking at my pedometer, and like some of those days we walked like literally 20 miles.
Yeah.
Like that's pretty cool.
I don't know what 20 miles is, so I'm
Like
sure.
it's like 100 or 150 kilometers, I assume.
Yeah.
To me, Stockholm is a very cool city. I understand it's your home city. I know you grew up here, so you're not going to be like, oh, in love with it. You know, if I had to show someone around my hometown, I would also feel like there was nothing there. I think the difference though is my hometown actually does really fucking suck, and you live in Stockholm, which is actually a pretty cool city. Do you get any of that? Because everywhere we've gone, I've said something like, "Oh wow, this is really pretty," or "This is a cool tunnel," or "This is whatever."
Yeah,
This is better than other places I've been.
I thought to myself, this is like I feel like I'm working with the Make a Wish Foundation, and I'm here with a mentally ill child.
Okay, there's nothing I can say to make you appreciate your home.
No, I mean, I appreciate Stockholm in the sense that it's a very picturesque city. When the weather is nice, it's nice to walk around by the water, sit at a cafe, and just have a cinnamon bun, drink some coffee. But that's all you can really do in Stockholm. It's like, what can I do in Stockholm except walk around, have a cup of coffee, and then I just go home to my home in northern Stockholm.
Okay. But I mean like what's there to do anywhere in the world besides walk around, sit at a place and then go back home? I mean, aren't our whole lives just spent looking for a place to sit down when you think
Yeah,
about it?
but also it's the point of like the in terms of the climate, it's just like really hard to I guess like plan outings in Stockholm, and it's just like it's so much disappointment. You plan something, you think the weather is going to be nice, and then the weather is shit. It starts raining.
Are people flaky in Stockholm?
Yeah, I mean that's probably part of it. Is just that I hate everyone who lives here, and I hate everyone in Northern Europe.
Are people fake?
People are fake hoes, yeah.
Is it like someone will be nice to you,
And then
but like you're not really talking, you're not having a real conversation, you're just being like friendly, that kind of thing?
I don't know what you're asking me. I know a subject we can talk about. It's the Swedish foods you had.
Yeah, that'd be good. I've never like directly encountered, I guess, something that I know is really happening the entire time I've been traveling. The entire time I've been
What?
traveling. Well, let me say it first. I'm not done talking. That
Uh,
wasn't the end of the sentence. What I'm trying to say is, I've the entire time I've been traveling, I've been going to places and being my normal self. You know, I've been staring wide-eyed and bushy-tailed at all these things that I think are very novel in the different places I go. And the locals, the people from that place, see me and they think, "Oh, this is an excitable little idiot who is very interested in our stupid place that we don't give a fuck about."
yeah.
I mean, that's all over the world. Nobody gives a fuck about the place they live. They get used to it. Or they grow up there and they hate it and whatever, it's boring. So it's kind of cool being able to directly confront you about, like, oh, Stockholm, I think it's cool, and you are just totally over it. But I know that the way you feel is completely normal.
Yeah.
And the way I feel is just weird, and it's because I'm traveling, and that's all it has. If I lived
Yeah.
here for like 4 years, I would not give a fuck.
Yeah, definitely. It was the same way when I visited New York, and I hung out with my friend who lived there. It's like it was just a garbage smelling, stressful city to her.
Right.
And to me, it was just, I was on top of the world. I loved the smell of garbage. It was just, what kind of exotic garbage is this? You know?
I kind of know what you mean. Yeah. I mean,
Good. Then
that's.
we're on the same page.
I mean, that's how I felt in a lot of Southeast Asia, because they would have places that smelled like bad, but I'd be like, "Huh, That's an interesting bad smell."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kind of a stupid thing to think.
And yet we've both had the same thought.
So maybe it's a really smart thing to think.
Yeah. Probably since I had the thought.
Having a local show you around, I feel like maybe it's not even as good as like having somebody that just moved there show you around, because at
Mm.
least the people that just moved there have recently been looking for a lot of shit to do. Whereas like you, all the stuff you know how to do is just like years old, or
Yeah.
you're trying to think like, what would a tourist want? And you
Yeah,
can't really imagine it.
you're being a real ass to me right now.
Not at all. I appreciate your perspective, and it's a
Yeah,
totally
but I
valid
can definitely
perspective.
see that because oh, I do have some American friends who recently moved here, and they just know like they've done so much shit in Stockholm that I've never. They've rented bikes and shit. I would never rent a fucking bike in Stockholm.
They rented bikes. They went to that Uppsala place before you went. They went to Skansen, the little village, right?
Yeah, I took them there, but whatever.
Yeah, but you wouldn't have gone by yourself. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Is they moved here
Yeah,
and they
sure.
did a bunch
And
of
that's
shit.
what I said. Like, they would probably have been better guides for you because they moved to a new place. It was exciting for them. And they were just like, oh, we just have to see this and now we have to see that. And for me, it's like I've been here my whole life. So most of the stuff I've seen is like from my time in middle school or
Right, on
just
field
growing up.
trips and
Yeah.
stuff. So it's, I mean, like, you go there and it's like, wow, I feel like a child.
Yeah.
And you're kind of jaded against it.
Yeah. I mean, that's what everyone is like in their
I don't know.
hometown.
I guess I don't really have a point.
Yeah, this is a long tangent for no.
Well, I mean, like, because it's not like, okay, in one sense, I was like joking, like, isn't it great being able to show me around and appreciate your hometown in a new way? That's a joke.
Great joke, by the way.
but
I'm laughing.
it's more of a bit than a joke. But at the same time, isn't there a part of you where that's kind of true?
In a way, when you got here and when people visit me in Stockholm and I show them around, it's like I'm on vacation, if that makes sense. Like I'm on a weekend trip to a new city.
Right.
Like, because I'm just doing all of this, like, exploring shit under the span of like a few days.
Right. And you probably always at least find something new
Yeah,
out,
yeah,
right?
definitely. Or it's just like you do have that sort of touristy feeling because you're just like going around exploring stuff that you haven't seen in a long time. But I don't feel like every time a new person comes here, I don't feel like, oh wow, I've really fallen in love with Stockholm again. It's just like, oh,
Right. That's
just-
never going to happen, probably.
no.
Until, like, when you do move away.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like, if I do move away and I come back, that's probably when I'm gonna fall in love with Stockholm.
I mean, I think that's normal. But that didn't happen to me when I moved away from my hometown because,
Thank
again,
you for saying I'm normal.
my hometown fucking sucks.
Okay, good.
Sorry for accidentally calling you normal.
That's fine.
Swedish food.
Oh yeah, we haven't talked about that at all.
Was that a good transition for you?
Beautiful.
Swedish food.
Everyone knows what's coming now.
It's the Swedish food time to talk about Swedish food.
Chia seeds. That's a jingle I wrote today, by the way.
Yeah, when we were buying chia seeds.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need the background on that.
I was buying chia seeds so that I could
Good
cook,
story.
that I could cook
Great story.
Derek some buckwheat.
That's right.
And
We've done a lot of cooking while you've been here.
we've maybe cooked like
Twice.
twice, yeah. Like
But
two.
that's a lot of cooking for me because I don't cook ever. And so
Yeah.
for us to cook
Yesterday you were
twice-
asking me how to make mashed potatoes because you don't have the potato mashing machine.
Okay, even more than that, whipped cream. I didn't know how you made whipped cream, and it turns out the directions are the name. You just whip cream, and then it becomes whipped cream. But that blew my mind. You see, that's like how fucking amateur of a cook I am. Like I had like some kind of anxiety about being in the kitchen.
I mean, I don't know if
We don't have to talk about my childhood, but something happened clearly, and I don't like preparing food. And so when you show me this magical world where
you're a man child.
where I can whip cream and it becomes whipped cream, it's like fucking amazing. It blew my mind, honestly.
You're a man child. You've never taken care of yourself. That's the problem.
Well, and I'm glad you were here for it.
Mhm.
Because you helped me take those first steps. What did we make? We made Swedish pancakes.
Okay, so the thing is, we were supposed to make Swedish pancakes, and I said, let's get a snack for when we're making the pancakes. I wanted to buy some already cooked meatballs to have cold as a snack, because that's how I like to have them, as a snack. And then we got back to the Airbnb, and Derek was like, no, we have to cook these, and we have to make the brown sauce. And then we didn't have any potatoes. So Derek made a sandwich out of them, put them on a baguette with the brown sauce. Completely wrong.
Okay, it wasn't like authentic Swedish food, but it was still pretty good. And also, I don't know how the fuck eating cold meatballs is any more right than the thing I did.
Because that's like a Swedish snack. You just have the meatball straight out of the...
Well, maybe a new Swedish thing will be eating a baguette covered in
No.
meatballs and brown sauce.
And you texted me asking me how to make potatoes. Like literally putting the potatoes and boiling them and then peeling them and eating them.
Okay, you made it sound like I was completely stupid, but then you just named like 6 steps. That's a lot of shit to know. I don't know all that stuff.
Putting the potatoes into the pan, boiling them.
Do you
and then
put
eating.
water in there or milk?
Yes. Water.
Water? You boiled. Okay, so you
And
boil the
what
potatoes
was
in
that?
water.
And you were like, I don't have the machine to mash the potatoes. What the fuck? What kind
What
of...
do you mash them with? A spoon?
Okay, you boil the potatoes until they're super soft, and then you just take a fork and you just mash them like this.
Well, I didn't know they got soft.
I literally said it in my text.
Okay, I understand, but that's why I had to ask, so you could tell me that stuff. Well, you're being
And then you were like, that
you're being
sounds
very smug and privileged in your knowledge of cooking. You've been cooking since you were like much younger, and I'm starting to cook as a 28-year-old.
Yeah, but you're calling me like bougie and stuff, and it's like, no, I'm just a functional adult.
Being functional is bougie. First of all,
Okay.
can we let's just settle that and move on. We both agree that being functional is like for rich people.
Sure. Well, you like the fucked up sub that you made with the meatballs, and then you like the pancakes that I made for you.
Swedish pancakes are good. They're chewy and light, and they're really different than American pancakes because American pancakes are like fluffy and they're more cake-like, and they're covered in like shitty imitation maple syrup. And Swedish pancakes
And butter, don't forget the...
Oh yeah, you thought it was really weird that American pancakes have a slab of butter on it? You think it's gross, right?
Yeah.
Whereas Swedish pancakes are just plain and served with a little bit of unsweetened whipped cream and like jam.
Yeah.
It's like very light. It was so good.
Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
I did, yeah. I honestly, I might tomorrow morning try to make Swedish pancakes by myself and see how it goes.
We can actually just make the batter before I leave.
Oh,
And then
cool.
you can just like whip it up. So yeah, aside from that, you bought some fucked up Swedish foods. You bought some pickled herring,
Hmm.
and then you bought some korv stroganoff. That's like ready-made from the grocery store. Disgusting. The most revolting food that I know
Korv
of.
stroganoff is an orange sauce with chopped up hot dogs in it, and it's served with rice. And it's very bland.
It's
It tastes like
extremely
something
bland.
they would feed you if you were like in a prison.
It's like,
Although I
yeah.
think Swedish prisons are supposed to be very nice, so
I
probably
think that
not.
Swedish prisons probably had the same food that Swedish public schools do.
Did you, and you ate Korv stroganoff in public
Yeah.
school?
Korv stroganoff, blood pudding, like blood sausage.
You're feeding your kids a lot of blood here in this country.
So yeah, it's a very bland kind of casserole made with like some ketchup-like sauce.
There's a
Hot.
lot of casseroles in Sweden.
Yeah,
So
disgusting.
your whole thing is you don't like Swedish food.
I mean, it's very bland, isn't it? I like meatballs and I like the brown sauce because you can make it kind of salty with the soy sauce and
Yeah,
the
I mean it's really the meatballs. There's a reason that I think that Swedish meatballs are like the famous
yeah,
staple food. It's because like they're pretty good.
yeah,
Like
and they're
that should
also
be the famous one.
Turkish.
Is that true?
I don't know. It's been a huge debate in Sweden about whether or not they really are Turkish.
Swedish nationalists are like, no, it's not fucking Turkish. This is the only thing we have that makes us have an identity. This has
also-
to be Swedish.
Also, nationalists are the only ones who actually care about whether it's Turkish or not.
Right. Well, I mean, how could they possibly give a fuck whether or not it's Turkish when there's like Turkish kebab places on every single corner?
Yeah.
What are you afraid that there's going to be slightly more Turkish food in Sweden? Who gives a
Because
fuck?
I think that like Swedish meatballs is like such a big part of the identity of Swedes and Swedish culture. So it's like we're ripping apart the one thing they've held there.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really imagine that as an American because American foods are all like they're all food either made by black people, barbecue and fried chicken and stuff like that. Like I think most Americans are like, oh, let me think of American food: pizza, Chinese food, tacos. You know,
You're doing a great impression of a
that
dumb American. Yeah.
yeah, that's how it is. Our country's a melting pot, but Sweden's the same way. I mean, like the reason people like all the Turkish food is because it's very tasty, so they just pretend it's theirs. That's fine.
Yeah. And it's like
It's better than Korv Stroganoff, I'll tell you that much.
you tasted it. What was it like, the one you had?
It was just bland.
It's
It
like
was like eating it was like eating orange gruel, and then I added a shitload of chili pepper to it, and it tasted good, but only because all I could taste was the chili.
yeah. So the pickled herring, that was another thing you tasted.
Pickled herring is good as fuck, though. I love pickled herring. That's something I found out that I was very surprised by. Because it sounds like it would be gross, because it's just fish that's been stewing in a sauce for months or something.
Yeah.
But it's delicious. It's so flavorful. It's so creamy. Like I was like as I was finishing like my first like serving of pickled herring on a cracker, I was immediately like Googling how do I get this in Los Angeles.
That's so funny.
Like I'm gonna miss pickled herring when I leave Sweden.
As I've said, I'm gonna email you some.
Attach it to the Gmail.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna send you an email of a GIF.
Simia Jeef. Do you really say Jeef and not GIF?
No.
Okay. I'm so glad you were fucking around. But you had like some good advice, which was kind of like all the Swedish food that's good, like you don't need to go to restaurants for it. Swedish pancakes, you don't need to go to a restaurant, you can just make it in your house.
Yeah.
Swedish meatballs, you can just get that from the store because it's not like the place is making their own meatballs.
I mean, some of them probably are, but it's like
Not worth it. It'll be
it's
like
so
30 bucks or
yeah,
something.
it's so like they're overcharging it so much.
Pickled herring, they're likely not pickling their own herring, you know, you can just buy that from the store.
Yeah, or if they are, they're charging you like $50 for a serving of pickled herring.
Yeah, but I don't know. I liked most of the Swedish food I tried. The corn stroganoff was garbage, but
Yeah.
oh, I also had a I wrote down the name of this tunnbrödsroll.
Tunnbrödsrulle. That's just a wrap.
Yeah, I had a wrap. That was 2 hot dogs that were drenched in ketchup and mustard. They were covered in shrimp salad, and the base of the wrap is 2 huge scoops of buttery mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
It's like insane. One of the weirdest food combinations I've seen in the world, and it was actually kind of good.
Yeah.
I kept every time we were walking around, I would see a picture of this fucking 2 hot dogs and shrimp salad wrap, and I would start making fun of it and making fun of Swedish food.
Yeah, but that's what you were doing with like pickled herring too.
I know, but then like I'm converted.
Yeah, 'cause you're white. You're like
Right.
you're returning to your roots.
I just discovered
You
that
love fucked up foods.
I do, yeah. I love the weirdest
You would
shit.
go outside and just eat dirt off the ground, and you would think it was delicious.
Don't tempt me.
I respect
So
your culture.
I just I just want to like go on the record as saying if you see the 2 hot dog shrimp salad mashed potatoes wrap and you want to make fun of it, go ahead, make fun of it, but then also eat it because it's pretty tasty. It's like a barbecue in your mouth. It's like a white trash barbecue
Yeah,
in your mouth.
and that's what all of Swedish cuisine is like.
Yeah, it kind of is. I mean, like any of this stuff could be like successful in America, but actually most of the time I was here because you're not super into Swedish food. We were just eating like Ethiopian food and Thai food.
Delicious.
Yeah, that's kind of a good thing about Sweden is you, if you come here, you don't have to eat Swedish food if you don't want.
Yeah, because most Swedish people hate it. They hate the food.
Are people? Do you guys have comedy here?
Yes.
Here's
I
my
mean, barely.
here's my impression of Swedish comedy. There's a stage and there's a big audience, and the 2 comedians come out on stage. One of the comedians is holding a cracker with jam on it, and he hands it to the other comedian. He says, "Here you are, Sven." Oh wait, that was an Australian accent. Here you are, Sven. I can't do it. He hands it to the other comedian, and
Here you are, Sven.
there you go. He hands it to Sven, and Sven says, "You are not welcome." And the entire audience gasps. And then he says, "Just playing around." And then everybody laughs. And then the 2 men shake hands. And then they leave the stage. That's my impression of Swedish comedy.
Beautiful. That's pretty much. That's like that could be a skit. Definitely.
That could be a movie.
It
You are
could.
not welcome.
Just kidding around.
Yeah.
Just kidding around.
I don't have anything else to talk about.
Um.
Is there anything you want people that visit Sweden to like come away with that you feel like is there anything that like people don't know about Sweden that's actually cool or interesting or good?
The tap water is very clean. You can have the tap water straight at the tap. It's one of the cleanest ones in the whole world.
Is that it? Are we done?
Yes.
Okay. Thanks for talking to me, Julia.
You're very welcome. Thank you to my listeners.
Oh God,
Please.
you don't have listeners. Come on.
I'm still happy to have satisfied my fans who've been waiting to hear me on a podcast. Goodbye, everyone.
Fuck you. Goodbye.
That's all, folks.